Hi everyone, welcome to Writer's Corner. I'm Radrani and I'm from Tilsey Creative Writers. And as I said in my previous video, that over the course of the next few weeks, I'll be reading chapters from this book, Lessons from the Ramayana by Sri Chaitanya. And in my previous video, I gave a brief introduction about the story of the Ramayana and about this book. And in this video, I'll be reading Lesson 1, and I hope you like it. So, here we go. Lessons from the Ramayana, Lesson 1. Do not mistake duty for power. You would not think any duty small if you yourself were great. By George MacDonald. At no time are the lessons of the Ramayana more relevant than they are today. In ancient times, warlords waded through slaughter to the throne. Then might was right. A man with the sharpest arrow and the surest aim was the hero. The only road to power was war. On ascending the throne, the tyrant would let in a rule of terror. Power intoxicates. A man in power would have in him the seeds for a fall. Excessive power is not safe against the so-called weaklings, just as even a strong elephant is not safe against quicksands. History shows us how many a powerful tyrant met with his downfall for some flaw or other, despite his power and pelf. A tyrant intoxicated with power would fall into a lull of security. He felt that none would dethrone him. In his sense of security, he committed atrocities which slowly but steadily paved the way for his fall. A tyrant's career conveys the lesson. The greater the power, the quicker the fatal fall. Now, in this present age of democracy, election lifts a man to power. On ascending the seat of power and on enjoying the loaves and fishes of office, he develops a taste for it and longs to cling to power by hook or by crook. Politicians develop the gentle art of catching votes. They make no bones about bribing the voter and speaking bland words to the face and biting from behind. He has in his grip both carrot and cane. Carrot seasoned with sweet promises is for those who bend. Cane in veiled threats is for those who remain stiff. Thus both money and muscle are pressed into service to lift him into power. When once in power, his thoughts are bent on consolidating his position. Instead of making the country great and right, he tries to make himself great and rich. Seated at the helm, he thinks it is a seat of power. The pomp and splendour and the glitter and glamour that accompany power enthrall him. To such a man a lesson must be taught. The humanity in him must be awakened. As Burke finely puts it, power gradually extirpates from the mind every human and gentle virtue. To such a man in whom power has extirpated humanity, the path of duty must be shown. He must be taught that the so-called power he thinks he has been enjoying is only a duty which he has to perform in all humility and spirit of sacrifice, passion, prejudice, pride, self-interest, and love of power mark the mentality of a mean politician. To him, a seat at the helm is not a springboard to leap forward into service and sacrifice in order to relieve human misery and lead the country to glory and distinction. Great men like Mahatma Gandhi, who have seasoned politics with moral values, are few and far between. They were in the world of politics, but they were not of it. They showed that great men were great not by what they acquired and enjoyed, but by what they sacrificed. They also showed that those who liked to engage themselves in public life should not look upon it as a career to enjoy creature comforts and amass glittering wealth. In a democracy, any elected post or selected job is a sacred trust. one should look upon it as a duty to perform in all humility, but not a power to wield in all authority. Dr. Radha Krishnan's memorable words are, "Government offices are places of public trust, and unless we hold them in that spirit, we are likely to use them for our own profit and deny to the country honest and efficient service." Hence, the problem now is that men mistake duty for power and plunge the nation into misery. This error can be effectively corrected if we learn the very first lesson that the Ramayana conveys. Bharata. Bharata's devotion to Rama is proverbial. Paduka Pattabhishekam is an episode that melts even the hardest. All the host of virtues we seek in a ruler find their abode in Bharata. King Dasratha conferred kingship on Bharata. Kingship had its own attractions, immense wealth, power, pomp, splendour, and everything that man longs for. But Bharata spurned kingship, power as no better than a piece of straw. He went to Sri Rama, who was already in the forest, to honour his father's promise to Bharata's mother. He fell at the feet of Rama with his frame vibrating with ecstasy and his eyes streaming. In a paroxysm of noble rage and moral twinge, he poured out his agony thus: "My dear brother, the kingdom rightfully belongs to you. The people long to crown you king. Our father has sent you to the forest to keep his word, and at the same time shuffled off his mortal coil, unable to bear separation from you. The ministers, the citizens, the army and the commanders were all agog to see you crowned. When the whole city was at its height of joy to witness your coronation, the news of your exile was like a bolt from the blue. The whole country is sunk in sorrow and disappointment. The citizens are too docile to openly revolt for this injustice. So devoted are they to the royal family that they swallow their sorrow and hail me as king. How dear is the price of my installation on the throne. You, my beloved brother, an abode of all virtues, an embodiment of dharma, righteousness, and a rightful heir to the throne, have embraced a life of recluse in the forest. The king, who was a god on earth, and who won the love and admiration of one and all for his righteousness and nobility, sacrificed his life. My mother took upon herself widowhood and infamy. The mothers Kausalya and Sumitra bear the pang of separation from their beloved sons. The people who were sorely disappointed feel betrayed as the prince and heir whom they most admire and to whose glorious rule they look forward is denied his due. The pity is, I am doomed to sit on the throne and wield the sceptre of power in the midst of so much man-made misery. I do not want to rule the kingdom. It is yours. You are the rightful heir. You are the beloved of the people who lavish their affection on you. I am a poor, insignificant creature, unworthy of the burden cast on me. You are my all in all. You are my father. You are my mother. You are my God, and you are everything to me. Let me be at least allowed to remain with you in the forest till you return to Ayodhya to rule the kingdom. I have brought with me all the articles and holy waters necessary for coronation. Let our sages perform coronation function here itself. I wish you to return as king in all royal splendour, accompanied by the royal entourage. With tear-stained face and in choked voice, Bharata concluded his speech thus: My dear brother, if you do not heed my prayer and deign to accept the kingdom, I sit here fasting unto death. Sri Rama is touched by the devotion of Bharata, but he knows that he cannot oblige him. He should not falsify the promise made by his father to Mother Kaikeyi. So he speaks in a melting tone, softly and gently, picturing the path of rectitude. Dear brother, I quite sympathize with you and very much wish to grant your prayer, but I am shackled by dharma, righteous conduct. Our dear father stuck to truth all his life. Never did he deviate from the path of rectitude. Truth was his religion. He gave word to Mother Kaikeyi. It was not in his nature to go back on his promise. He was too much attached to me to survive my separation from him. Yet he threw his weight on the side of truthfulness and embraced death as a result. So to him, keeping one's own word was more important than one's own life. As worthy sons of that great king, we have to obey him and make his promise true. His promise becomes true when I remain in the forest all these 14 years and when you rule the kingdom. If we disobey him, his death will be in vain. Our father sacrificed his life for the sake of his word. Should we hesitate to sacrifice only to be worthy of him? I know you love me dearly. You loathe to be torn from my company. That is why you seek permission to remain with me in the forest in case I do not return to Ayodhya. But to maintain our father's reputation for truthfulness, it is not enough if I remain in the forest for 14 years. It is also imperative that you should rule the country. My dear brother, it demands sacrifice on your part also. You have to sacrifice the fulfillment of your desire to be with me. The mention of the word sacrifice flashes on the mind of Bharata. Sri Rama's firm determination to spend the term of exile in the forest. He makes in a desperate mood one more piteous appeal to his brother to return to Ayodhya as king and thus spare sorrow to the millions of his devotees in Ayodhya. But Rama consoles Bharata with the words that higher dharma demands that they both should obey their father. Bharata sees moral force in the words of Rama. He has no alternative except to obey him. He says to Rama thus, My dear brother, I understand how firm you are in matters of morality and righteousness. I shall obey you and go back to rule the country. It is not exactly to rule the country. It is exactly to do the duties of a ruler. I have brought with me all the articles and holy waters necessary for the coronation ceremony. Among those is a pair of golden sandals to be worn by you. I just put them before you. Please wear them once and sanctify them. I put on my head the sandals thus sanctified by you and carry them to Ayodhya. I install them on the throne. I shall be only a deputy to those sandals who stand for you on the throne. You have abandoned royal silks, luxuries, and pleasures. So do I. I wear coarse ochre robes befitting a hermit. I have my hair matted. I do not touch anything which goes with royalty. I shall be a hermit like you. You must be merciful enough to appear in Ayodhya the moment the terms of your exile is over. Otherwise, I shall jump into fire and end my life. Rama smiles his agreement and promise. He stands on the golden sandals. Coronation ceremony is performed to the golden sandals. Rama praises Bharata for his supreme sacrifice. Every devoted has in his heart the image of Rama, but Rama has in his heart the image of Bharata. His devotion to him is something unique. Bharata returns to Ayodhya, but he does not enter the city of pomp and the palace of pleasures. He rules the kingdom in all righteousness and establishes morality. Under his benevolent rule, character crisis is ruled out. That is the chief lesson that our present rulers who go by the name of ministers should imbibe. Strip power of its tapestries and purple, then power becomes duty. That is what Bharata does. Whenever there is a decline in dharma or a deplorable fall of moral standard, divinity descends in the form of a man to restore dharma and reclaim virtue. Sri Rama is God incarnate. He and his 3 brothers live an ideal life of a human being giving utmost value to sacrifice, service and penance. It is for the humble mortals to be inspired by their ennobling example. Bharata sacrifices royal pleasures and riches while doing the duties of a ruler in the absence of Rama. He does service to the people by his benevolent rule, and while serving them, he keeps himself detached to presents and prerequisites, attendant on service. By his example, he proves the real sannyasi is one who renounces attachment or bondage to work, but not work. He ever keeps the Lord's image in his heart and the Lord's name on his lips and maintains a rapport with divinity. Because of this penance or rapport with the higher divine power, he is able to perform his duties as a ruler without bloating his ego. Let our present-day leaders or rulers or men engaged in public work endeavour to mould their careers on the model of Bharata's sacrifice, service and penance. Then is the world on the road to happiness, plenty and prosperity. The blessed man who gets inspired by the example of Bharata and mistakes not duty for power is not born in vain. It is worth our while to examine 2 more incidents in the Ramayana which uphold the lesson, mistake not duty for power. Rama's exile in the forest has 2-fold purpose. One is to grace the sages' ashramas with his holy presence and bless them with an opportunity to look on his divine personality and enjoy the bliss of Brahmistale. The second is to slay the cruel demons that torment the sages. In short, it is to bless the good and slay the bad. During his wanderings in the forest, Sri Rama's gentle eyes happened to light on heaps of bones. On inquiry, the hermits submit to him thus, "Our dear Lord, what shall we say? Many a holy sage was killed by cruel demons. The demons have for their object the destruction of sages bent on meditation and tapas. Every now and then they swoop on these unoffensive and docile good men with overbearing demeanour and make a meal of them. Innumerable are the good men killed by them. These heaps of bones are the only leftovers which remind us of those holy men." Rama's heart is full of the milk of human kindness. There is an upsurge of anger in his heart, righteous indignation. In a vibrating voice, he spontaneously tells the sages by way of loving assurance, "My dear holy men, your troubles will soon be at an end. I hereby solemnly declare that I slay all these demons and bring you all the much-needed relief. It is my wont to afford protection to those who seek refuge in me. You are my beloved friends. You can rest assured." The sages acknowledged his promise with smiles of gratitude and recitation of holy hymns. After a tender parting, Sri Rama and Sita leave for their cottage. There, when alone with Rama, Sita, in her concern for him, tries in her own gentle and soft way to make him desist from his purpose of fighting the cruel and ferocious demons with adamantine frame. She says in her winning words, "My dear, what harm have those demons done to us? Why should you court enmity with them? We wish to pass these 14 years in all calmness and without any untoward happenings. You are not now the king to take upon yourself the hard task of protecting these sages." Rama replies, "My dear Sita, I do understand your concern, but it is my vow to grant safety to my devotees. You said that I am not the king. I am not the king in the sense that I renounce royal pleasures, palace comforts and riches, but I have not renounced the duty of Kshatriya, a member of the family of rulers. My brother Bharata is the ruler or king. I am his deputy in the forest to share the duty of king. Do not mistake royal duty for royal pleasures. Moreover, my strength and martial skill are not mere ornaments. They are gifts to be used for the welfare of mankind. A true Kshatriya indulges in the warfare only for the welfare of mankind. The sanction for warfare is dharma, not power. My will is to establish dharma, but not to establish me in power, surrounded by pomp and splendor. Her husband's words touch the heart of Sita. She is convinced of the nobility of Rama, and she is the happier and the prouder for his significant words and irrevocable resolve to punish the evil without being attached to royal powers and splendor. The other incident is Rama's encounter with Vali. Vali succumbs to the arrows of Rama. As he lies on the ground bleeding, he addressed with his dying breath the following words to Rama. Rama, you are reputed to be a righteous person, but this present act of yours, shooting me from behind a tree when I am engaged in a fight with another, does not behove your greatness or upright conduct. To this, Rama gives a wonderful reply. He compares Vali to a beast. His unpardonable crime of robbing Sugriva of his wife reduces him to a beast. A beast cannot claim the honor of a fair fight with a hero. A hero hunts a wild beast to bring relief to the people. In a similar way, Rama hunts the beast Vali to bring relief to the victim Sugriva. He further clarifies thus: My brother Bharata is the ruler of this world. I am his deputy in the forest. It is a duty of a Kshatriya person to kill the wicked and bring relief to the good. The fact that I have renounced the pleasures of palace and paraphernalia of royalty does not detract my duty to punish the evildoer. Thus, to do duty unattached to power is the lesson that Rama dins. We round off this lesson with the words of Bacon. The greatest good is done by those who are more sensible of duty than of rising. That's the end of lesson 1. I hope you liked it. Thank you for watching, and please click like, share, subscribe, and I hope to see you in my next video when I'll be reading lesson 2. Thank you. Bye.